I have a question for you. What would you say to somebody who asked you to give them a definition of faith? Does that sound like something that you would be able to do easily? I remember when I was a junior high student and we were having our youth group meeting on a Sunday night, and our leader asked us that very question: what is faith? Somebody shouted out, "It means to believe." And then he said, "Well, what does it mean to believe?" And the response came, "Well, it means to trust." And then he asked again, "Well, what does it mean to trust?" And the answer came back, "Well, it means to have faith." And it seems that we weren't really getting anywhere. We were just going in circles with synonyms for faith. I don't know if that would be difficult for you to come up with a definition, but I want to help you today to come away with a definition, a clear understanding that's both rational and biblical of what faith is. We looked last time, I mentioned that faith is a natural human phenomenon. It's not something that's just spiritual. There's a lot of different ideas that people have about faith, and we could spend time looking at all the what I consider to be all the errors of understanding about faith. But what I'd really rather do is focus on what the scriptures have to say about faith, and then as we study our way through what the scripture says, we can take the time to look at and point out errors in understanding. Some people think that faith is a gift that God gives to us. Some people think that faith is something that we find in the scriptures. There's a lot, like I say, a lot of different ideas that I have, but I encourage you to stick with me as we take this walk through the subject of faith according to Jesus. From spiritual birth to the bema, that is when we stand before him for judgment. Faith is an integral part of our lives. You see, because we live in the natural world and God is supernatural, but we're relating to him, and we can only do that by faith. We can't see him with our eyes. We can't hear him with our ears. We can't touch him with our hands. As the Apostle Paul said, we walk by faith, not by sight. And so this is a walk that we're involved in every day. And faith is the way we walk through it. Here's a graphic, I think, that kind of helps to explain for you how faith works. You see, in the graphic, there's evidence on the left, and then there's the goal on the right. And in between, the evidence that we accumulate and the goal that we're seeking to reach is faith. And in some cases, if we have a lot of evidence, it takes only a step of faith. If we have just a little bit of evidence, perhaps you would call that a leap of faith. Jesus didn't define faith, as I said, but God has given us a definition of faith in the scriptures. In Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, we have this definition: faith is a sure confidence with respect to things hoped for, a firm persuasion with respect to things not seen. That's the Anderson translation, very fine translation. And I think it's great because it's simple, it's to the point, it's clear and understandable. So faith is not a decision, faith is not a choice, faith is not an action. Faith is a confidence, it's a conviction, it's being convinced of something. It's a persuasion, it's being persuaded of something, and it's being persuaded and convinced of things that we can't see, or things that are in the future, what we're hoping for. But it's the basis for it is our conviction, it is our persuasion, and of course it's the evidence that persuades us. So faith is the basis for the decisions we make. Faith is the confidence or persuasion that moves us to action. And I hope that you continue with me on this. I want to keep these short at just 5 minutes or less, because I want it to be something that can fit into your daily life, and once a week you can take a look at this. But I encourage you to jot down some notes, write down the definition of faith, maybe redraw the graphic that I've given to you, so you can it will help you to be able to understand as we move into really what the Bible has to say about faith and how we participate in it every day of our lives. Thank you.